Joining me now is a man that we are going to see on part of Dana White's Contender Series. Of course, the new season kicking off, and he's a part of this first episode here on August 13th. Wes, appreciate the time. How's things been, man?
Oh, yeah, things have been going swell. Just training and keeping my head down.
Has that always been the mentality where you've been able to keep the head down, or is that something as a career has gone on, you've kind of learned to deal with things in a better way?
Yeah, I feel like you get better at it as you go on. I mean, once you start dealing with the UFC, though, there's a lot of reasons to keep your head down, you know?
So how long have you known about this matchup?
Shit. I was just cleaning out my car and I found my, I don't know if it was a bout agreement, but it was some sort of preliminary agreement. And that had the date, 4/20 on it. So at least April.
Do you remember when you get the phone call from your manager? What kind of went through your mind?
Yeah. He didn't tell me it was Contender Series till the end of the phone call. So he was just describing, hey, we got like a 5-0 guy, your next fight. And I was thinking like, okay, is this like another LFA fight? Like, I'll do it. But and then he's like, yeah, it's for Contender Series. I was like, fuck yeah, there we go.
Were you kind of already in that mindset of like, hey, man, I'm 6-1, you know, nothing against regional shows, but were you kind of in that mindset of like, man, it's got to be Contender Series or even maybe a short notice UFC call?
Yeah, I was thinking it was something like that. It was some sort of bigger promotion. And Contender Series is exactly what I wanted. Like, you know, getting like a 3 or 4 fight contract right off the bat's nice, but you get limited like exposure. You know what I mean? You kind of just show up, you're on the prelims, and you know, I've seen the difference with teammates that get short notice calls versus guys that went through Contender Series, and they get a lot more shine going through Contender Series.
And in terms of you as a mixed martial artist, how did you get involved in training? I mean, even before, or was the mindset always of like, hey, I'm going to be a fighter, you know, following your wrestling journey?
Oh man, yeah, I never followed the sport until I was like 22. What was it? It was like my 5th year of school. I was out of eligibility for wrestling. I was still going in and like working out. I was like, oh, I kind of coaching. I was like, this kind of sucks. And yeah, just a guy, another alumni was like, hey, you should come into this like local gym. And I was like, okay. And I had my first fight with them. Then I moved to Milwaukee, and yeah, I've been here for the last 5 years now.
What was what went to the decision to move to Milwaukee?
I guess I went to school outside of the state for a while, and I guess at that point I was in state, but just closer to home, and I like the Wisconsin culture. I have no thoughts of living anywhere else, and if you want to do MMA in the state and have more than like a regional career, you kind of got to be in Milwaukee.
Mm-hmm. When I was looking at your Tapology page, your birthday's on Friday. So do you like to celebrate your birthday, or is it like, or do you just look at it like, it's just another day?
I feel like no man should like to celebrate his birthday. You should look at it begrudgingly. Yeah, oh man, I guess we'll go do something, and now I have a great excuse not to do anything. Or like, you know what I mean? That's always like a dad growing up, like, oh, don't give me nothing. Just leave me alone. Let me watch the game.
In terms of this matchup here, again, Mansur, undefeated guy, 5-0 in his career, trains at MMA Masters. One thing I did notice is that he'll have a reach advantage in this matchup. What do you look at as the pros and cons of going up against somebody who does have that reach advantage?
Oh, man. What is it, like a 4-inch?
Yeah, 4 inches. Yeah.
I mean, I haven't seen his hands because I measure you from fingertip to fingertip. So he could just have freaky fucking long fingers. I have no clue. I don't know how this guy's built. I assume he's around my size. I mean, we're both pretty young, pretty green in our careers. I doubt either one of us would use a reach advantage that well, you know? I mean, I always feel like it's more like your feet are taking you places more than you're like arm length of it will, you know?
Is that one of those things on Monday when you do the official weigh-ins and they do the stare down? Is that more of a you're kind of sizing them up at that point?
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes you shake someone's hand and you're like, oh, this person's I don't want to say a bitch, but they don't have that. And then some people kind of like, you get the squeeze and like, this person's a fucking freak. Like, why are you squeezing my goddamn hand so hard?
What's your scouting report of him? As obviously you've gone there, you've looked at his fights, you see what he does well, what you maybe think he doesn't do well, but overall, as you look at his strengths as a fighter, what sticks out to you?
I think his strengths are knocking the fuck out of people in the first round. I think that's his it seems to be all he does. I don't think he's been to a second round. I gotta have at least 4 to 5 times the cage time he does between like amateur and professional bouts. I went to decision a few times, which is that's a comforting feeling going to decision for the first time, especially like I know he comes from a wrestling background too, and you're fucking exhausted after a wrestling match, which is at the collegiate level 7 minutes. So I know, like, some people would say, like, oh, man, no, I'm not willing to do. That's got to be everyone's first concern when they turn professional. Like, damn, can I do 15 minutes? And I know I can. But I expect him to just come forward, heavy punches, takedowns, big throws, all the fun stuff, I
know everyone's going to have their own motivation, whatever it may be, family, money, friends, whatever motivation may be. Is part of your motivation? I don't know. Have you looked at the betting odds for this fight?
Yeah, those dumb motherfuckers, these little bastards I work with last night. At the beginning of my shift, it was like I was like plus 240. I was like, oh, that's disrespectful. But those odds will fucking move. Like, people are smart. And then at the end of my shift, like, hey, you're plus 300 now. I was like, what the fuck? Is the Illuminati betting against me or something? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, as I look at it right now over at DraftKings Sportsbook, it has that you were the betting favorite at minus 120 when the fight opened, and since then it has gone up to right now as we're talking.
What did I do in my interviews? That fuck. What did someone see? Like what the fuck? That's funny as shit. Man, maybe that's all the lost Pentagon money from 9/11, man. Maybe that's where that went.
Does that motivate you? Like, do you take that, or do you take it personal at all?
I mean, he's from the East Coast, so I assume people have more money out there. I just assume people have more money. Mm-hmm. Like that could be like this. There can't be that many people betting on this fight. Like that could be like 3 rich dads, friends of his. Fucking put it on my friend's boy here.
I would imagine a majority of the money that gets bet on these fights happens on fight day. On fight day. Oh, yeah. I would think that, for the most part, people want to see you weigh in. What do you look like? Did you have it? Does it look like you had a good weight cut? Whatnot? I mean, is the weight cut the worst part of fighting for you?
Man, I don't think so. I was just thinking about that today. Like I kind of naturally just stop getting hungry around fight times. Like I just know something. Like my body knows something's up. And it feels like a reset, if that makes sense. Like almost all the food's out of your gut, you're drained of water, and then anything you put into your body is just, fuel for the next day. And I really like it. I like fighting the day after a weight cut. I love it. We get like damn near 30 something hours. Like in wrestling, you get 1 or 2. Although unless you're like a heavyweight with like a bye for this round, then you get like 4 or 5. But no, like it's part of it. And I wouldn't be in like a fighting state if I didn't cut weight. It would be different. It'd be like going in on like a Saturday practice spar or something. It would be completely different. And I think with being in the Apex, we're not going to have like walkout music. It's going to be quiet. I think the weight cut itself is going to be something that really like tells me like this is real. We're doing this. Because I mean, think about it, or else it'd just be like in a fucking small little center with like a bunch of people, no cheering, no nothing. Like that would be weird, and
Well,
it's going to be weird.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's limited people in the building. It's a Tuesday afternoon in Las Vegas. I mean, it's starts 5:00 local time. Is that kind of like in a way kind of weird? Like, wow, it's a Tuesday and I'm going in and have a cage fight.
Yeah, that is going to be surreal. I've never done it before, so I don't know how weird it's going to be. Maybe it'll be. I mean, that city's always lively, so that could help. At least it'll be hustling and bustling.
Mm-hmm. Looking at your the nickname of Party Time. How do we get the nickname?
Man, my coaches gave that to me. I don't know. I guess I'm just good time and dude, man. I like to get out. I'm a man of the people, I work in bars and stuff, but no, I tone it back for fights, and I feel like I don't do that much social media. So most people that know about me fighting, like I'm out and about meeting people. I'm spreading the good news,
Okay, I'll give you a funny story. As I was getting ready for our conversation, I'm putting together various things about you, and I go over to Instagram and I hit up Ed. I go, hey Ed, this is the right IG, right? He goes, yeah, that's his Instagram. Because the thing I noticed was, you just don't post a lot, and everyone has their own reasons of why they do that. But like, it makes me think about is, when you do go out, are people surprised that if they don't know you? Like, if you're just sitting at the bar and, you're having something to eat, having something to drink, you're just having a good time. Would there be people surprised to learn that you're a professional fighter?
Yeah, man. They usually think I'm a professional model, man, That's what they first go towards, and I say, no way. I'm fucking deadly.
Well, usually the sign would be if they could see your ears, that might be a dead giveaway.
Yeah, I have no cauliflower. Even when I'm like having my head back, it's like I've seen like 13, 14-year-old little kids with better cauliflower ear, and I'm somewhat jealous of that. But I feel like at some point you couldn't fit fucking AirPods in your ear.
That is something that would be yeah. There's some fighters I just go they have to go full headphones. They can't put in the AirPods.
That just would be, I don't know.
But then like I don't like working out with full headphones because then I just feel like sweat gets involved in that. Like give me the AirPods.
I mean, I'm lucky. I usually enjoy the dad rock. Whatever the gym I'm in is usually just dad rock going on. So I'm okay with that.
Is that the go-to? Yeah, if you're getting a workout in the gym and music is on.
Yeah, man. Like am I training for a Contender series fight? Am I working on my car with a 12-pack? Like, what is this music saying? You don't know. You could do either with it.
How do you see the victory coming on Tuesday?
Probably second round, unless one of us runs into something fucking first round. But he's a stick of dynamite, man. He's gonna probably come out just fucking heavy, hard, forward, looking for takedowns, and I'll meet him there in the middle. I think it's gonna be a fight. I don't see this one going 3 minutes, unless both her conditioning sucks. I know mine's sweet, but who knows?
Is that, they talk about visualization and visualizing all aspects of what can happen in a fight, good, bad, indifferent. Is it just one of those things that, as you've kept thinking about the fight of like, man, you know what? I foresee this thing's going to be a firefight.
Yeah. I mean, I've foreseen this fight going so many different ways. I'm sure I look dumb as hell. Like I'll be walking my dog and I'll be like moving my foot in like a weird way. I'll be thinking, I'm thinking about like throwing a kick, or like I'll just kind of start like shadow boxing a little bit. And it's like, fucking, I live in this neighborhood. Let's not act crazy here.
Is it hard for you to get your mind off the fight?
Depending on what I'm doing. I feel like actually working out, like when I'm working out in the gym, it's easiest to get my mind off of it, just because my body's in motion. You know what I mean? I'm just working. It's just another day. But then if I'm like at home not doing shit, and mind tends to drift. And the closer you get, the more you think about it.
For me, like when I'm sitting in a gym, I feel like I zone out more than anything else. I just, got the music going, and I just zone out, and I kind of forget about everything.
Yeah, you're satisfied. You got something to do. You have a task, and you're doing it.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
even if I'm working towards a certain goal, you know, I don't know. I don't see that many steps ahead. You know, it's like if I'm running, I'm not looking forward. I'm usually looking at my feet.
Clearly, the goal,
Like
yeah, the goal here is to get the victory, get the UFC contract. Have you started to think about what the goals are after that? I mean, have you thought about, okay, get this? Obviously, you'd probably want to try to get a fight in, before the end of the calendar year. Is that kind of the goal / mindset going into this one?
Yeah, before the third weekend of November. I'm cool anytime before then.
Do you not like to fight during the holiday season?
Well, okay. I've had fights the last two Januaries, so that has fucked up my holiday season. But as long as I can get Wisconsin deer seasons, like the last couple weeks of November. So as long as I can I'm not going in the goddamn gym doing that. I'm gonna be in the motherfucking woods.
So I work for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers radio network, and I remember the first time I worked a game in Green Bay was 2011. It was the first day of hunting season. And the amount of camo you saw in the stands, and then I remember one of my guys, he comes to me and he goes, dude, you got to look in the parking lot. And outside the press box, you can see the parking lot. Yeah. And we see a dead deer on top of the car.
Yeah, that's classic.
I go, well, clearly they're not worried about someone taking their deer.
No, on a stake for the most part. But I'd say that sums it up pretty well. When
you go hunting, is there is deer your go-to?
Yeah, that's the big thing. That's what everyone does. You know what I mean? It's like there's people that do bird hunting. I don't even know how those fucking seasons work. Like I know people that are outdoors people, and they're like fucking heavily into it. I can really only be into it for like a week and a half, 2 weeks out of the year. Like that's all I got the time for.
No, I get that.
That week and a half, 2 weeks, that's all I'm doing.
No,
I'm not going to work. I've done it where I go up north, come back, work a few days. I'm just pissed off the whole time. I know for the fact, I need all those days off. I'm not doing anything else, or else I'm just gonna be mad.
Well, we do get to see you right here on Tuesday on ESPN Plus, Dana White's Contender Series. Really do appreciate you coming on, talk about this matchup. Anything you want to leave people with before we get out of here?
Fuck, man, bet on me. The odds are sweet. This is a crazy, great opportunity. This is a money printing machine right here.
That's awesome, Wes.
That's it. Motherfucker, I still can't believe that.